My name's Bill and I'm an alcoholic, and this show is called The Penny Arcade Machine. Life as a child was as it was. My drunk father lived 100 miles away. My alcoholic grandfather, on the other side of my family, lived a mile away. So the two male role models in my life were of exactly zero use to me whatsoever. But I was a survivor. Where spiritually, I always knew I needed to rise above beyond whatever life dealt me, and I did. Life as a child was all about survival, and I have to say the negativity of my youth went on to produce the drive I have in my life to this day. From working too hard to making money, from my perfectionism to my issues around timekeeping, and my all or nothingness. Where a fear of criticism prompted my need to get everything perfect, and my lack of empathy grew out of a single-minded need to succeed at any cost. Rising above whatever life threw at me became paramount and was how I lived. It was, in effect, another obsession, where everything else became secondary, and unfortunately, I've spent the best part of my life defending one obsession or another, which was seen by those around me as being selfish, uncaring and hurtful, and ultimately very single-minded. And this resulted in my insatiable need to be other than who I was. But unfortunately, I never knew what the other was. The turmoil of a broken youth, years of striving for some kind of success, and a lifetime's feelings of being inadequate whilst drinking like I did, was to become my life. A life spent obliterating the ongoing confusion of life swirling around and around and around in my head. When I eventually did get some help with my drinking, what I found was a never-ending supply of advice and of encouragement, where the 12 steps were a continuous source of inspiration, and the members of AA offered what has been a limitless supply of good, sound, honest advice, of hope and willingness. But ultimately, my faith in something beyond my alcoholism was what always kept me returning for more. AA and the 12 steps reminds me of a little penny machine that you get in the arcades, where my children used to play when they were little. When we visited the seaside or the circus, they'd put their pound coin in these little machines and get 100 pennies out, which they would play on all the machines. Well, AA turns out to be one of those little penny machines, but with one big difference, where for every pound I seem to put in, I get 10,000 pennies out. Recovery has been so much more about receiving than giving, where all I've had to do is to show up to meetings, sit quietly, listen attentively, call my sponsor regularly. I'm asked to look at working a 12-step recovery program, look at my spiritual life, help another alcoholic to overcome their addiction, and hey presto, my life changed. If you've never been to a place where living becomes so unbearable that nothing will ever be good again, you'll probably not understand that living without a drink and experiencing life as a manageable human being could produce a feeling that captivates something so very special, so very, very magical. If sobriety was described to me as winning the lottery, or that it painted a picture of faith and of true wonder, I probably wouldn't have believed it unless I'd experienced it firsthand. So if you're looking for a new life after drinking, Try the win-win method of recovery, where for every bit of effort you put in, you'll receive it back 100-fold. Not convinced? Well, that's ultimately an alcoholic's problem. And if things in life seem too good to be true, unfortunately, they usually are. But not when you're gifted with what turns out to be a life beyond your wildest dreams. Try it. You may even surprise yourself. Bill the Shirt, Bristol.